Welcome to the RASC-Kingston Centre Annual General Meeting. The meeting is going to be broken up into two parts, but first, welcome to new members and guests. And we do have a new member, Kevin Wood. Welcome. We have a First Nations land acknowledgement. The RASC-Kingston Centre acknowledges that we are on the traditional homeland of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat, and we thank these nations for their care and stewardship over these lands. Tonight's meeting structure, it will begin with the AGM, which has a agenda unto itself, and then we will move on to our feature presentation, Steve Mallia. And then there will be an intermission, and Rick Wagner will give us what's up in the sky, and we have a number of members' reports. So, to begin with the RASC-Kingston Centre Annual General Meeting, I present to you the agenda for this meeting, and the steps are welcome, which I've done, approval of this agenda, approval of AGM minutes from 2024, approval of Treasurer's Annual Report, approval of Auditor's Report, approval of Secretary's Report, presentation of reports of the Board and committees, Centre elections, election of Auditor, presentation of awards, any other business, and then we will adjourn. Not sewing. Gosh darn it. Well, at least I read it. Let's try. I'll just go this way. Nothing. Unbelievable. It worked last time. Yes. Yes. How about this one? Okay, I'm going to kill the slideshow. Start it again. We should have AGM rehearsals. No? Close. Again. Oh, I know what I'm going to have to do here. Let's see if this happens. That's crazy. Shouldn't have to do that. But I'm going to do it this way for expediency. How's that? We are here. Here's. Oh, I'm not showing on there. I'm really not doing it at all. It's doing it itself, and however it wants to perform is. I didn't share. I think was my mistake at the end. You see it? Okay. Think so? Okay. I'll try that. Oh, yeah. Wow, thank you. Okay, so we're at the approval of agenda stage.
I move for the approval of the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Roger. Do we have a second? Peggy, thank you. All in favor? The agenda is approved. Now we will approve the minutes from 2024, which were circulated by email prior to the meeting, I believe. Any questions or comments about the minutes that were distributed? No? Somebody like to move that we approve the minutes? Anybody? Kim? Seconded. Roger? All in favor of adopting the minutes from 2024? Approved. Thank you. Susan, would you like to come up to the front, or is there any? Okay. So we have the treasurer's annual report.
This is like the last vote for your last presentation.
Okay, this is published as a public document on the Centre website under news and other items at the top of the page, and all the year-end reports are there. There is one correction that was made after the fact, and in the total assets line at the top of the opening of the statement, it was originally published as $10 less. So we're up $10 thanks to our auditor. Auditor found that. So anyway, so here we go. A summary as of 2025, October 1st. Income, $8,211. Expenses, $6,528 for a profit of $1,683. Total assets, $37,600.48. This cash is distributed as $6 in cash. The Fallen Stars Fund is $866.13. Observatory Fund, $22,734.99. Operating, $13,993.36. Membership at the time of reporting, that's October the 3rd, was 63. Under income, Kingston Centre membership income, $1,346 at the transfer rate of $22.31 per member from National is the Centre's second source of income, exceeded again this year by the generous donation of members and others of $3,363. Donations have been augmented by members who gathered this summer to clean out the neglected stock of equipment, etc. in the storage shed. Hopefully past projects will take on new life in the hands of members. Fallen Stars, $183, calendar sales, $106, and GIC interest of $686 round out our sources of income this year. Expenses, outreach spending of $1,054 is attributed by half to splitting the cost of the C Star between member use and outreach events. Meeting related spending, room rental, Zoom, speaker expenses amount to $1,005. Banking details. We remain with the RBC branch on Gardners Road. While the Centre readily receives e-transfers, all outgoing amounts remain checks requiring 2 signatures, and this is preferred as a security issue. Notes to the auditor. Financial year, October 1st to September 30th, 2024 to 2025. Treasurer, Susan Gagnon, 2015 to 2025. Previous reports included amounts/funds titled Special Projects, and Reserve. It was determined by the board that these serve no purpose, and these amounts have been folded into operations. As a consequence, there's a considerable jump in the balance of this account. The Fallen Stars account will be rebalanced to its base, $500, when profits are distributed later this month. Records within the 2024-2025 Treasurer's Deposit and Expense Binder, please find the following. Michael Bird was elected by the membership at the 2024 AGM to act as auditor, but was later unavailable, and stepped down. Bruce Murray agreed to take it on and has been appointed by the board, and there is an email exchange covering this. The general ledger, central spreadsheet, all transactions, payments, all checks, 412 to 442, issued and deposit slips. Reports, all monies received through RASC National through direct deposit to the center. Banking, all e-statements received from RBC. Investments, all statements referencing GIC status. Papers submitted to the Canada Revenue Agency in the province of Ontario of the previous year. Profit versus loss, balance sheet reconciling the general ledger, accounting, and the RBC accounts. The process. 3 members of the executive have signing authority for the center. In the past, it has been 4, and I would encourage a return to this strategy. 2 signatures are required for every check, and 1 must be the treasurer's. I look forward to the report from the auditor and any feedback from the executive or membership. Thank you for the privilege of serving the center as your treasurer. Sincerely, Susan Gagnon, Treasurer, RASC Kingston Centre. Any questions? I'm sorry, that was a hasty retreat. Yes. No, actually, the next month or so will the new executive, whoever that is, will be working on the budget, and all input from the membership is welcome, I would imagine. But yeah, the next fiscal year is the new executive. So.
Okay. Thank you, Susan.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. Okay. I move it. And who would like to second? Peggy? Okay. And all in favor? Thank you. Gonna go now.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Susan. Bruce, auditor's report. Thank you.
So Susan provided me with all the financial records for the center. I went through them in quite a bit of detail, found that one there that Susan mentioned. But in general, the financial records are in good shape. Okay. So in general, the records are in great shape, and there are no material issues with the financial records or the reports that were generated from them. As part of my review, I did look at some items and had recommendations for the board to consider. The first one, as mentioned, there is quite a bit of cash sitting in the account, and I do recommend that at least $15,000 or whatever the board finds suitable be invested in additional GICs. The current GICs of about a little over 15,000 generated almost $685 last year. So another 15,000 would generate probably another 600, depending on where interest rates fall this year. The second recommendation was there'll still be, a significant amount of cash still left in the account. I would recommend that we have a savings account that we can shift some of our cash into. That's readily available if the center needs to expend it, but not locked up in a GIC. But there really is 2 reasons having a second account is, one, is reduce the risk of having all our money concentrated in a single account, and two, we will earn small amounts of interest in a savings account. The last one is the current financial records don't detail any of the capital assets of the center, and mainly that is equipment, telescopes, mounts, eyepieces. I think there's a trailer now. So really, we should have that recorded and reported as part of the financial records. So that's the summary of my findings, and I think it was distributed as part of the email. Are there any questions on the audit? No. Then I motion that the audit's report be approved. Any second? Okay. All those in favor? Great. Thank you. Right.
There are reports that were generated that are not required to be approved, and the list of those reports have been compiled by the board by Kevin into an annual report, which has been posted on the website. So if anyone is interested in seeing other reports that of the activities of the center, you're welcome to go to the website and have a look. Kevin, is that fairly accurate to say? Yeah, okay. Now we have center elections. So you can see from this list, there are 3 positions on the board of directors whose terms are expiring. And the 3 are Malcolm Park, Kim Hay, and Susan Gagnon. And we'll take them one by one. And the first in the list would be myself. I am willing to stand for re-election as a director of the center. Where do we go from there? Do I say, does anybody else want to do it? Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. So if anybody is interested in standing for that position, they're welcome to be nominated. Otherwise, I am willing to stand and.
I'd like to see you
Okay, so I don't see any other.
all in favor of you.
All in favor. No, the position hasn't been talked about yet. That's all. That's all about being a director. Yeah. As a director, yeah. Well, they actually voted in favor already. Yeah.
Do we need a second year nomination?
Or is it an acclaimed situation? Right? Okay. So what happens at our first board of directors meeting is that at that meeting, the position of president is assigned to me. So that's why we're separating these things into 2 physical actual steps. And today we are electing officers to the board, directors to the board, and the fact that these positions are listed here is quite indicative of what they're going to do, but we will actually formally put that in place at the next executive meeting. So Kim is our next director on the list, and Kim has indicated that she is not willing to stand for re-election. Is there a nomination for director to replace? Anybody would like to second that? Elena? Seconded. Are you willing to stand? All in favor? Thank you. Question?
I would like to move the Bruce Martin to, elected.
Oh, okay. I'd like to introduce the next, but okay. So as Roger says, Susan is has indicated she is not willing to stand for re-election, and we need a director for that position. Roger?
Yeah, I still move to Bruce Martin be elected for the.
Thank you. All in favor?
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Bruce. So again, there will be a meeting of the board of directors to, and not just that, but we have to establish, we have to make changes to the distribution list and things like that. So there's things to do at our first meeting. Hello. Why is it not? Come on. Okay. We're kind of going backwards, I think, on this one. What does election of auditor imply here, Kim? I need you. Are we formally electing Bruce for the time that he worked for us as auditor, or are we skipping this? I know. Exactly. So are we looking for an auditor for next year? Okay. So for the next year, we will need an auditor. Is there are there any nominations for auditor? We can come back to this. Not urgent. Next on the list, we have Kim Hay. She's got awards presentation.
Can you hear me? Well, first of all, I just want to thank the awards committee, Susan and John, for helping out, and for the one who actually came forward with this nomination. I'll give you a little bit of a summary of the A.V. Douglas Award. The summary is the major award of the RASC-Kingston Centre will be known as the Kingston Centre A. Vibert Douglas Award, named after the founder of the Kingston Centre, its most outstanding member. The award may be presented annually to honor the contribution or achievement of a member of Kingston Centre, although it need not necessarily be presented every year. The award will be presented for service, including long-standing dedication, or a recent contribution or contributions to the Centre or the Society, and or an astronomical achievement, including a discovery, invention, literary presentation, or a related achievement, any of which may be a recent or one-time matter or an achievement over many years. It is intended that the award be presented to recognize contribution and or achievement by a member of the Centre who may not necessarily receive the recognition which his, her, or is due, and that is not necessarily to be given to a member of the Centre who is already receiving Centre or national recognition for another reason, such as because of a position held in the Centre or National Council. So here's the citation for this year's nominee and winner. No stranger to the astrophotography world, our award recipient has many attributes to his name. With an image on the back cover of the 2026 Observer's Handbook of M16, also images in the Nicole Morgenthau book Night Sky Almanac. To his own website that he sells his images with postings to Instagram, Facebook, and many other platforms. With a remote telescope hosted in San Pedro de Atacama, Chile, he images the southern wonders and studies the sky for asteroids with an ID number of X15. Not forgetting the northern skies, he images and also chases auroras and weather storms. Being a member of the RASC since 2014, But with Kingston since April of 2020, he has always stepped up and helped out where he could. Always spearheading projects with presentations and connections, like having reached out to Peter Ceravolo to assist in discussing a mirror that the RASC-KC has in its possession, to creating an astrophotography 101, and now a comet photography Zoom class, and tomorrow night a NINA class, to help others who are interested in doing astrophotography, doing the most up-to-date software and hardware. The Astrophotography 101 was a 7-month presentation with a hands-on presentation and with special guest stars and speakers, Carrie Ann Lucky Hepburn and Ben Law. It was a very well-presented program with so much information. He was the vice president of the Kingston Centre from 2022 to 2024, then was asked to become the president in 2024, agreed to give it a try. Currently, he still holds this position at the time of the writing of this citation. He was one of the key people in helping steer the board group through the administration process of bylaws and ONCA government paperwork. Not an easy job. The latest projects have been to help to spearhead and bring together a donation of the 25-inch obsession Teledanko telescope for outreach work in connection with the Lennox and Addington Dark Sky Preserve. Plans are underway for minor fixes, and the County of Stone Mills will be building a storage facility for the telescope for the use in the spring in 2026. He was also past president and vice president of the NYAA, and as primary person in helping to organize Canada's largest star party, StarFest. Always on the go, but always ready to help out. On behalf of the RASC-Kingston Centre, the 2025 recipient of the A. Vibert Douglas Award is Nelson Hunt.
Okay.
Wow, thank you. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to the center, and we just keep on going on, right? Just keep going. Oh boy, I almost had a tear there. This is, yeah, I really am grateful. Thank you. And I didn't, yeah. I can't wait to have that cookie. For the AGM, any other business anybody has that they would like to bring up? Susan?
I would like to nominate Dr. Phil for auditor. Did we do that now?
No, he's a board member. Ha ha ha. Nice try. It's still your job for
Yeah. In that case, I guess if there is no other business, I'd move that we close the AGM. Seconded. Mike? All in favor? Okay. That was pretty good. That was 25 minutes. Would you like to take a minute, or are you ready, or whatever you like? Okay. So we'll have yeah, we started 15 minutes late, so it's all good. Let me give you this. So, ladies and gentlemen, Steve has driven 3 hours from Bolton, or at least Bolton, wherever we're, yeah, He's the proprietor of Ontario Telescopes, owner of Ontario Telescopes and Starfield Optics. And he's got some stuff here that I'm dying to hear about, but please welcome Stephen Mallia.
One thing I want to say is if I join RASC again, I'm going to say that the way to run an AGM is the way that you guys run an AGM. Nice, to the point, short, perfect. Thank you very much for having me. I am feel privileged and honored to be here to speak to you tonight. Natalie was working with a speech, but she said I didn't have the practice to present in front of people. We came from Bolton, Ontario. Our shop is in Bolton, Ontario. We do live in Bolton, Ontario, and you know, this is we're easy drive from here. So very, very, very happy to be here, and I do thank you for the invitation to speak to you today or this evening. So I have a slideshow. Right? It's not like the slideshow I had to endure a couple weeks ago. I have 560 slides. Yeah. So I've got it in about 7 or 8. So I'll try to do much talking. If you have questions, though, please shout them out and flag me down. I'd love the questions. So I do own Ontario Telescope and Accessories, and we started back in 2014. I was an online company. Remember Ethics and Science? Yeah, great store, right? Telescope still there. I used to go there when I was a kid. I used to beg my dad to take me. And then in 2012, they shut down. There was a letter put on their Facebook page. Facebook back then? Yeah, I guess so. There was a letter put on their website saying we are shutting down. The store will come back in a year as an online store, because that's the future. Okay, great. Well, a year goes by and there's no store. So I figured, hey, I have an idea. And I started Ontario Telescope. We started off with Bob's Knobs as our first thing. And we went from there. And shortly after that, I started off Starfield Optics. That was more of an in-house brand. And started off with my first product was a reducer, just a 0.8 times reducer. And we added a flattener and a 0.6 times flattener, and then we grew. In 2018, I actually incorporated as its own separate company and went into manufacturing of other items. One of them, remember Zygo Astro? They're based out of Ottawa, right? So we acquired Zygo Astro in late 20, well, almost to the day, in 2018. We were one of the vendors, and I placed an order, and he called me up and he wanted to buy everything. Okay, so that's what we did. So we got into the manufacturing of automated filter wheels, and you know, we've had some good success with that, and we continue to build them to this day. So I did bring some stuff with me, and I want to focus around Starfield for a moment. Starfield Optics, you know, my goal behind Starfield Optics was to make equipment for astrophotographers that can be used visually as well. But I wanted quality equipment. I wanted to make sure that when I spec'd it with the factory that we were going to get certain types of glass. It's going to meet a certain standard. It's going to have certain accessories with it. So we developed the gear line. And gear is Irish for sharp. I'm not Irish. I spent a lot of time in Ireland, though. I just all over the place, so that was one of my things I went with. We started off essentially with our 80 millimeter triplet, and that did rather well for us. It was reviewed in Sky News magazine. Everybody remember Sky News magazine? Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a shame that happened with that, but it was reviewed by Alan Dyer, and I was so nervous. Right? So this is a gentleman that has looked at almost every telescope on the market, and I was really, really nervous to read the review, and I read the review, and I was very happy that he was happy with it. And then we went from there. We came out with our 90 millimeter, which I have with us, right? And it's not through a revision. And then we got into our largest flagship scope, which is our 115 millimeter triplet. And that's gone through a revision as well. All meant primarily for the astrophotographer, can be used visually, obviously, but I looked at it as I want certain things with this scope. When a customer has called us in the past who wanted to buy a scope, they're wanting to add equipment to it. They want to add some kind of rotator. They want to handle, they want to take. Right? So why can't we have all these things from the beginning? Why can't we just pull the telescope out of the case, put it onto our mount, and have the camera and go? We don't need to be buying a whole bunch of other equipment just to get the basics done. Right? So that was the whole foundation around the gear series. Even with the case itself, I wanted the case to be functional. I'll give you an example of that. When we came up with our 60 millimeter textile quad, right, I said, this is a nice little scope, right? And we should make this scope that can truly be portable and grab and go. Right? So you need to carry two things with you. Your mount, okay, and tripod, and your scope. And that's it. Because everything else should be able to fit in the case, right? So we have a spot, if you have an astronomy camera like an ASI 2600, it can fit, right? So if you open, you have an ASI Air and fit into the pocket, right? If you have a focuser on your scope, right, up here, it'll put it right into the case without having to modify the case, without having to take it off, right? Simple things, right? Now, the factory I was working with, they said, that's going to cost me. Okay, how much? For the buck. Okay, we can do that. I'll absorb the bill, no problem. That's what we did. So all of our scopes, imaging scopes will have all these same features on them. Our triplets actually get tested on a bench as well. So you get a Zygo report with that. You can see what optics you have, the straw rating of those optics. You can see the lens mapped out. Those are important things that are included with the scopes. They're not an extra that some manufacturers will charge you for. So we went with those scopes, and then we started to branch off into other things. Past couple of years, we brought out solar wedge. Right, we have two versions. We have on the left side is a 2-inch version, and the right side is 1.25 inches. They can be used for both imaging and they can be used for visual as well. Both of them have a filter built into it that is variable. Right? So instead of looking at like a 60-watt light bulb, right, you can cut that down so it's nice and it's still bright enough to look at without hurting our eyes, and it's still a very safe view of the sun. The 1.25 inches, right, is a really nice wedge, and you can actually start to see some granularity around some of the sunspots, just even visually. It was recently reviewed in Sky and Telescope magazine, which was surprised. I wasn't expecting that, so I opened it up one day, and like, yeah, I know that wedge. That looks really familiar. And it was well received as well, so I'm quite happy with that. We have several other products. We get into guide scopes. I mentioned filter wheels, playing with the idea of a focusing motor as well. But it's all in the interest of advancing astrophotography and making it accessible for everyone. We don't have to be charging massive amounts of money to get high-end quality equipment. Okay, I want to move on to the Ontario Telescope side. And I brought this with me. One of the things that we've been seeing a lot with Ontario Telescope, and with Starfield as well, one of the reasons why we went with a small refractor quad is this is easy to move around. Right? Skies are dark. We're supposed to get clouds tonight, and the weatherman was wrong quite often. Right? It's clear. I got to go imaging. Right? I don't want to be carrying a lot of equipment. We have a nice small scope to move around. We don't need a big heavy mount to set up.
What are the specs on this? What's the speed? What's the aperture?
So this is a 60 millimeter quad. This is an F5. Right? 300 millimeter focal length. 12 pounds. Right? It comes with a 2-speed focuser. There is a tilt plate on the back of it, so we can adjust our tilt. And there's a 48 millimeter thread to attach your camera. You can add a filter inside the camera angle adjuster.
Can you talk about the difference, what the textile brings to the telescope as opposed to the regular?
Yeah, so this being a textile or a quad, this is a doublet, and the front aperture, and then there's a 2-element flattener on the back. The advantage of this is that now I can just put my camera on the back. I don't have to worry about spacers. I don't have to worry about exactly 55 millimeters. I just come into focus.
Because when you focus, you move the lens.
The lenses move in the back. Yeah, the flattener lens is part of the focus assembly. So I can't take this focuser off and replace it with a moonlight or similar. It's all embedded. It's all one piece. This is only for imaging. This is an after that. So we can't put an eyepiece on it. It's not meant for that at all.
Get that thing away from me.
Oh, I should mention too, you know, we talked about,
I've got 2 days to get away.
I got a lot, I can find this. When we're adding a focuser on the back, onto the focusing motor onto the focuser, right? We usually have this plate that's it, right there, after everything. We've made sure that the focuser itself, the actual focuser, is flat. The plate on is not rocking around. You have a good solid connection to the scope. You know, that's before I get into this one. This is a 90 millimeter. This is the retail on that. That one's $15.69.
Was there a review done on that one? And
There was a review done online by Luco Matico
oh yeah, I know that.
in YouTube. Now, have you seen the review he's done for it? No? Okay. He has a text that's brutal. Absolutely brutal. And I watched this thing, and I'm sitting at my desk, right? And I was getting sick to my stomach, knowing what he was going to do, right? He took an ASI 2600 panel with a filter wheel, 2-inch filters. They're astronomic filters, and astronomic is a good part focal. Okay. He focuses in luminance. And this is SHO and LRGB. Focus in luminance, right? And then took a shot, and he has this special focus mask lens, really big spikes on the start. Take a shot, advances the filter, takes another shot, and if the optics are good, then there shouldn't be any shift in the focus. It should be the same. Like, oh no, that's a brutal test, right? And he advanced the filter, and he did it again and again, and it passed the entire test. And my blood pressure came down. Right? And I was quite happy to see that. So that was a really good test. He was quite happy with it. Actually, you know what? A couple months ago, who has an astronomy magazine? Anyone read astronomy magazine? No one? You did? Did you see the product roundup for 2025?
No.
Okay. Okay. This was given Astronomy Magazine Product of the Year in the product roundup for 2025. Awesome. Yeah, so very happy with it. Last year, the 115. 115 got named in the product roundup as well, Astronomy Magazine. So I was quite happy with that. That was reviewed by Phil Harrington, and he had a lot of nice things to say about that scope. So I was quite happy. I'd like somebody to review this one. This is one of my favorites. This is the 90 millimeter.
Can I borrow it? I'll review.
Okay. This is our second iteration of it, actually, because now it comes in the soft case before it was a hard case. And we've upgraded the handle, so we'll have more functionality on it. We can put a guide scope into it, similar. 2.5-inch focuser. Again, we have the camera angle adjuster, right? The focuser rotates as well. And heavy duty rings, which are functional because we can now even attach stuff to the side of the ring. So there's multiple capabilities, but this is a really nice scope. This is 9 millimeter f6. And there's also a reducer available for it. I think I forgot that. Well, our reducers for triplets are adjustable. We'll actually have a backspace of say 16 millimeters. We can move that We can move the end of that reducer out, so we can achieve 55. But say you have a ZWO camera, right? And you have a filter wheel, and then you decide to go out and you bought a used Pegasus Falcon rotator, the original one, which is like 20 millimeters. That we've completely blown our 55 millimeter up the wall. Right? So now with the adjustable reducer that we have, we can dial that in so we can get that back space that we want. You can also, if you are at 55 millimeters, I've yet to see a camera that's properly set up and the sensor isn't back or forth half a millimeter or a millimeter. Now we instead of the middle of the field at night when it's dark, they're taking things apart, you're getting the 1 millimeter space.
So what's the adjustment?
Put it, yeah, they're putting it together.
What is the adjustment?
Depending on the scope, it can be anywhere from 5 millimeters to 13 millimeters. So there's a lot of flexibility there. Even if you lost the space, you can move it out more. So you can do some stuff with it. The nice thing is if you dial it in for 55, you take a picture and you look at the corners and they're just out. Instead of taking it apart, put spacer rings in to fine tune it, you can just adjust it. And it's not rotating, so it doesn't adjust the framing. That's beautiful. So it's a nice little feature for the scopes. Anyways, so what I'm saying, we've been noticing a big trend in grab and go, fast scopes, short focal lengths. And the scope that I brought today that I'm really excited about is the HASC 125 from Skywatcher. This is a Honda's Advanced Atrophic Optical Design. This basically means that it has this really cool corrector plate in the front. It works like a RASA, where light hits your back, comes out the front. Now, this is a small scope at 125 millimeter. So if we were to take a camera like this, right, and put it in the front, what did I just do? Yeah, that's not going to work. Right? So now we can take some of the newer planetary cameras that are in they call them the lipstick design, where this is the lipstick, right? The QHYs, mainly the QHYs, the two-pack cameras, right, that have some of these higher end sensors on them, right? We can take those cameras now that are USB 3, right, and we can use them for imaging. And because these sensors, like a 585 and a 533 base sensors, are low noise and very sensitive, and at F2, we can have short exposures. What does that also eliminate? They need to cool it. We don't have to have an extra power cable going to it. We don't have to worry about cooling. We can take short exposures and we can get some really nice images stacked up. Once you have a large amount of subs, right? Maybe 100, 150, 200, you start stacking them up, right? Our signal to noise ratio goes up and we can get a nice image out of it out of a planetary camera.
So is the preferred method here live stacking?
No, we can do
Or just regular
imaging right from it. You don't need to live stack. You can't live stack if you wanted to.
No, I was just wondering if that's what it is.
No, just being able to use a planetary camera, right? Because the image circle is only 16 millimeters. So you're talking like the 183, the 533 would be really nice because it's square. You're going to take up the majority of that image circle, or the 585, and that kind of maxes it out. A little bit different. The focusing knob is on the back. Okay. And there are some kits that do just start with the candle like that as well. So this is the kind of a departure from going from a refractor to triple pass optics. That's huge. This is 250 millimeters of focal length. Say that again. What is it? 250 millimeters. Okay. Yeah, 250 millimeters. No, this is mine. I had to endure a lot of Starfest in this one. Right. Skywatcher's flight to Toronto was canceled this year, and I had all their stuff. So I got to set up all this stuff.
You still have all.
And I got some stuff. well, no, they give me another mount, but you know, going on with the theme of grab and go, quick setup, right? The new Wave 100 mount from Skywatcher, the 100i. This came out a year ago, right? And I'm glad that it did come out when it did, because it adds another alternative to some of the harmonic mounts that are out there right now. This harmonic mount, the strain wave mount, is unique where it has the ability to work as an EQ mount, but also as an alt-az mount. So if you can see in the picture below, there's two scopes here in alt-az. If you're into solar, you can have a white light and have the highs and alpha going at the same time. When you buy this, you just get the mount head in the case. It's kind of different from Skywatcher because you need to go plug here. So with you get the mount, and then you have to buy a tripod separately, or you can use a sturdy photographic tripod. With a light payload, so weighing only 9.5 pounds, we can support up to 22 pounds of weight on the mount. If we added a counterweight to it, then we get up to 33 pounds of payload. What's unique about the harmonic mount, the strain wave, is the fact that they can generate a whole lot of torque. Does anyone have a strain wave harmonic mount? Which one do you have? AM5, fantastic mount. Anyone else? Okay, so the beauty of these mounts is we don't need to use a counterweight for it. It generates so much power in the way that the harmonic gearbox works. Have you ever watched a video of a car being assembled by a robot? Right? And you see that robot, a yellow one like an ABB or a Finox or something similar, picks up a part over here, brings it up, spins it around, puts it in place, another one passes it, and then it goes back. Well, it's a very highly repeatable process, right? And has to be precise when it does that. So what they've done in essentially is they've taken an shoulder joint rather, right, of that robot, and they put it into a mount. Right? The advantage is that because we can generate so much torque with this type of gearbox, we don't have to have that counterweight there to help move along. Now, if you do add the counterweight's mainly there so that it doesn't tip over. It'll help balance it so it doesn't fall. If you have a real heavy payload on one side, much as you want to try, you can't get away from laws of physics, it will fall over. Right? So that's really what the counterweight is for. And what's really unique about the strain wave mounts is there's several companies that make them. Probably one of the original ones right now is Rainbow Astro out of Korea. They have two mounts. They have their RASC-Kingston this size, and it has a 35-pound capacity payload without a counterweight. They have a larger RASC-200, it weighs 18 pounds. And with a counterweight, it'll do 120 pounds of payload. It's a nice mount. That's what you're from Skywatcher. That goes to the whole grab and go idea. They do have a larger one as well, the 150i wave mount, and that would be the equivalent to like the EQ6 in terms of payload and capability. But again, it's very similar in size. Yeah.
Have you used narrowband?
Yes.
How's the experience there? Like, do you use a manual filter for? How do you do narrowband?
No, I make my own filter wheels. Oh, you mean in the scope itself?
Yeah.
Oh no. I thought you were talking about no. No, I haven't. I've only used a color camera on it. Yeah. But if you're to do, no, I probably just use into quarter filters and right, move them, manually put them in place.
So is this harmonic in both apps?
Yes, it is. That one is. Ioptron does it in one axis. They have a patent to do, and they call it a hybrid to do it in one axis, and the declination is in standard stepper motor. They still need to balance out. Yeah, you don't need to balance these. Which is nice. Okay. This is the last thing I want to show, right? And I really wish I had this here. One of the things that our most popular product actually is up here. This is the Pier 1000B. We had another one. It was being made for us overseas, but with the current economic political climate, trying to get stuff across the border, right, it's very hard. Very hard. So I went to a buddy of mine, and I said he's awesome when it comes to design, right? So I have this idea and this concept, and he pulled up SolidWorks, and then 20 minutes later he goes, like this, and I said, yeah, that works. It's funny to watch him work because he'll always sit at his desk, right? That looks like it's falling apart. A cigarette in one hand, got his mouse, right? Does some stuff, hits a keyboard, puts some measurements, does some more movement of the mouse, and just like this, yeah, in a heavy Polish accent. Love the guy. So we called it the Pier 1000B, not because it's the second version, because his name's Clark. And so we named it that way. This is a really unique pier where typically your pier would be round, right? And the legs would slide up on the outside. This one still slides on the outside, but the sliding mechanism is has a slide bearing on the inside. And it slides up. So this is all, oh, the other thing too, this is not rounded in a hexagon shape. This is very strong, right? I've stood up on this, right? I'm 220 pounds and the thing wouldn't budge. So I'm going to say the table is at least 220 pounds. We can adjust our level with the feet are height adjustable, right? Everything is laser cut, CNC bent, and then welded together with a robot. We powder coated and then assembled, well, will be assembled here in Palmerston, Ontario. And it will come with a bag. Unfortunately, I'm on a bit of a delay. Bart had a very bad car accident late last week, and he's been hospitalized. He probably will be for a little while. Is he just up for Wednesday? That's the same Bart. Hopefully I get to see him tomorrow. But this is what we came up with. So I'm very excited about this. I was in the UK not this past weekend, the weekend before at the International Astronomy Show, showing it off over there. So I'm just waiting for it to make its way back. Now that's our portable pier. We also have our permanent pier. And this is the one that Wayne is not happy about. This is a rather unique design. Typically, when you see a pier, it's round again, right? It's a piece of pipe. You hit it, it rings. You put sand in it, it doesn't ring, right? It's big, it's bulky, it's hard to move around. Right? So we came up with this design. This has 3 fins. We have another one that has 4 fins. This is all laser cut. Now, if you look at the actual design, that lattice pattern that's there, that's not for show. That's not some another zero on it. Probably could if you wanted to, right? But that is an actual design to dissipate vibration. So there's vibration in the ground, right? If you were to hit it, right, that vibration gets dissipated out in that lattice design, so it doesn't make its way up. It's the same design that they use in hydro towers, right? It's the same design they use in a lot of skyscrapers, right? The internal skeleton, right, to dissipate that vibration as it moves up so it doesn't fall apart. It's well over 100 years old. It was used a lot in Russia, right? That's where it originated from. I don't remember the gentleman's name. Came up with it. It's a big, massive tower. They use the same design to eliminate that vibration. The other thing that's unique about this is the when it ships in a flat box. You don't have this big, round, heavy thing that drops around the back of the UPS stuff. You put it in the box, and you get it, and you have to put it together. Right? So it's like the mechanical setup of the top rotates so that you can properly pull or align it, get it in position, and you can. It's not shown here, but there is a box that you can get that'll snap onto the side for power accessories, and you can bring the cables up through the middle as well. There is a pier adapter that we developed. This is a 3D print of it. There's two versions of this one, the one that's slightly bigger. Right? And this will support Skywatcher, TAC, Lostron, Ioptron, some Brexer, and then again, the larger one will do the larger Ioptron maps and such. And this would attach right onto the top. Okay.
The scale, the one on the bottom, how is it?
3.5 feet? 4 feet? Yeah, that's 4 feet. There's actually an extension we can put on the bottom too. We can raise it up to another 4 if needed. This was all, we also got a patent on, which is nice. My first patent ever was on this pier. But yeah, so this is something else that we're doing now. I'm quite excited about. So it's just another way of mounting your equipment. If you decided you wanted to move, if you wanted to take it down, take it off, take it apart, put it in a box, put it on the shelf. Oh, this is that. Yeah, that's that presentation. A couple other things that I want to show really fast. I don't want to take up all the time tonight. Especially the holidays coming. Black Friday next week. Binoculars, right? Every astronomer should have a pair of good binoculars. I believe that if you're going to have a pair of good binoculars, they should be the binoculars designed for low light, right? And the best binoculars designed for low light are binoculars used for birding and hunting. Because that's usually when people want to use binoculars, right? When they're hunting low light conditions. These are the made by Kowa, right? Kowa Japan. These are the SED2. These are nice and they're relatively light for what they are. They use UV glass. Those are 8x42. Available in different sizes, including a 32 millimeter and a 50 millimeter, like a 10x50. Right. The other, they're broken. They're broken. Yes, sir.
How close do you get?
I have to check the specs. Yes, these two are actually pretty good. I think they're within 3 meters. 3 meters? Oh, wow. I'll have to double check. Yeah, I'll check the specs. I know like they're short ones, like the 6x32. You can only put focus on your shoes. The other thing that we just started bringing these in, they're starting to gain popularity. This is I think that's a good tab. So you're out for the night. You're at Starfest. Come on, Starfest. You just gotta take the bucket of water and dump it on the stairs. Get it over with, right? It's gonna happen. So you just take this and just that's the thing. Brick. Yes. Comes in this silicone cake. And you just put it in the box, in your case with your gear. It's good to protect your optics, keep the moisture away, electronic. Right? And it's rechargeable, so it's got an indicator on the side, right? If it's full, wet, right? You take it, throw it in microwave or an oven, dry it out, use it again. This can be used in anything. It doesn't have to be done for optics. If you have electronics, if you have books, anything that you're going to be storing for a long period of time in the basement, in a garage, in an attic, you throw in and use in there to help protect it, just keep the moisture that day. These aren't expensive. They're about $44.
How much moisture does it absorb?
About this much. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I guess it has an indicator when it's full.
It has an indicator when it's full. Okay. Here.
You can't regenerate it.
You can.
Oh, you can?
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Bake it?
Bake it, put it in the microwave. It's not instructions on what to do. Yeah. There's your Who has a remote setup? Yeah, we know you do. Okay, who else has a remote setup? Okay. I have a remote setup in my backyard. I call it my remote setup, and I have one of these. This is a Wagner RASC-Kingston flat panel. Right, these have become more popular. Right, they've come down in price considerably. Right, from like the Ultimac flip flat. Right, so that was really one of the only options in the market. So there's several ones now. This is from Wagner RASC-Kingston, Pegasus RASC-Kingston, one also. There's a Deep Sky Dad. You know, these are really neat. Right? They sit on the boot shield. And then it's controlled by ASCOM, open and close, right? So at the end of your imaging session, if you want to be flat, especially if you're using a locator and you want to make sure your flats are consistent with the angle that you're at, right? This will give you a consistent illuminated light source, right? And let you take your flats automatic. So you can program that into your software or your remote, right? You can decide not only do your flats, but act as your dust cover as well. So this is the 150 millimeter. That's about $500. So how does it mount on the dust sensor? There's this little feet. There's a slot. Oh yeah. Right, and you put there's a big zip tie. Okay. And it fits on top. Oh, I should say the other thing that's unique now, and if you're going to buy one, if it's not going to be a longer one. The one thing you want to look for in something like this, make sure that has a heater built into it. Don't do heaters. Because when it opens up, now it's exposed to everything. Right? We have dew heaters on our stove, keeping it nice and dry. But if you get water on this, and it comes down, when it starts to throw water on your optics, that's not good. Right? So this has a built-in heater to keep it nice and dry. So if you're going to buy one, and it's not necessarily a Wagner, it's something you want to keep up. ZWO, right? Small little company makes cameras. And other things. They came out with a new EAF on that focusing motor. This is a Pro version. Right? The Pro version has buttons on it to control your in and out. It's a nice little feature. It also has an on-off switch. There's a battery built into it, and it supports Bluetooth. So now this is 100% completely wireless. We have nothing on it at all. Okay. I'm not 100% sold on the battery yet, because battery in cold weather, not a great combination. It's the same battery that's used in the C-Star S30. It's a small battery. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with it this winter, once they start getting out there more. But this is, this is the Pro version. The button thing is a non-Pro version that exists as well. It doesn't have buttons. But the fact that you can bring it to focus in and out manually, that's a nice little touch without having to put in a hand controller and stuff to move it.
And you can run it with power.
Yes, yeah. So it gets powered off of USB. Yeah, and it's USB-C.
You're not dead in the water.
No, yeah, not dead in the water. I would still plug it in anyways. I wouldn't rely on the battery, and you need to have Bluetooth on your computer. So like, for the ASI Air, this is great. Right? If you're not using an ASI Air, I wouldn't bother. I'd go with the non-Pro version. Okay. The last thing. All right, who took the camera? Oh, there. That was me. Again, keeping things light, simple. Last year, a couple years ago, rather ZWO introduced their duo camera. And the dual camera is unique where it has two sensors on it. There's two windows there. So the top one, that small one, that's a guide sensor. They focus it with the knob right there to move the in and out. Now we're guiding at the same focal length that we're imaging at. Right? If you have a RASA, use the Hyperstar, these are great because your guiding solution is done. It's all in there. You have to make sure you have the appropriate connector for it. Adapter on your Hyperstar, which Star is going to get you no problem. What's interesting is I think we've reached a pretty interesting point in camera hardware right now at this price point. Because this 2600 sensors, this is the second camera now. There's 3 cameras with this sensor. They're not coming out with a new camera, with a new sensor. They're building off of what's there. This IMX 571 camera sensor is been around for about 10 years, and it's continuously being used in newer cameras. The latest offering in ZWO using the same idea where how the guide sensor has the ASIR built into it. Now there's a little antenna on that. And your camera does everything. It takes the images, the guides, controls, the whole setup. Yep. So it's a pretty interesting time in astrophotography that everything is now being integrated in. We have wireless focuses now. It's now. I've talked about this in the past a lot. When we start getting into AI, right, into AI image processing that takes place. And now we can take modest equipment and get amazing images. I feel sorry for the astrophotography judges now, because the quality of the images that are being produced is just absolutely astounding. And I think what it does with this influx of hardware and combination with AI software, put in the really high-end guys, Takahashi, Astrophysics, Stellar View, ASA.
Lord Exterminator, who needs Takahashi?
That's what I'm getting at, right? Why, right? Just putting those guys on notice, it's like you either come up with something better, right, on the hardware side, right? And we're gonna lower your price. Yeah. Right? So we're at a pretty interesting point.
I wish they'd come up with that duo for mono camera.
They have a model camera.
Do they?
Yes, they have one. ZWO.
ZWO.
Yep. ASI 2600 Duo.
No way.
Oh yeah. You get one of my projects. Yes, that. I don't think we have that, but yeah. We can ship anywhere.
So I thought they didn't have it, because I thought
Yep.
it would cannibalize their spider.
Well, it's true, right? But I remember a long time ago, when I was in industrial motor control, and I asked the sales manager at ABB in Montreal about that. They came out with a new drive that was going to directly compete against their high-end stuff. And he said, I'd rather be the guy cannibalizing my business than the competitor. Right? So it's not a new thing. Right? That's Big Hat, right? But they held the patent on it. Yeah. And then the patent ran out. And then ZWO came out with theirs. Right? So it's really interesting. It's quite interesting. They have another one too that uses their 585 sensor. That's the only color.
I can't remember if it's 10 or 12 and a half or 15 or whatever the thickness of an OAG is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need that.
Yes. Yeah.
And then in the case of that solves a lot of problems.
Yeah. Absolutely. But there was one available in mono.
I should not know
We don't have stuff. But it's available. Yeah, my only concern with them, honestly, right, is that the guide sensor would be behind the filter.
I have the MC Duo,
Yep.
and shooting narrowband, never had a problem.
No?
Picking up stars, never. But I will say that 420 millimeters is not like with an edge.
Yeah.
I haven't tried to do that.
Yeah. That's the only concern, right? That I've heard about from people, but no one's wanted to return it, so that's a good thing. I get that question. Is it good?
I like my.
Yeah. Oh, it's a fantastic camera. Yeah. And it solves a lot of problems, right? Yeah. Anyways, that's all I had, really. So, thank you for listening to me ramble on.
Thanks for coming.
For Black Friday? Yes. Yeah. Go to the website, get onto the mail list, and get really active. See what's going on. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. So we'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll come back with Rick Wagner and what's up in the sky and members report.
There's 4 more talks in the fall season for the Queen's Astronomical Research Group. 21 centimeter cosmology, protoplanetary disk, exoplanets, that might be kind of cool, and cosmic magnetism. Lito Baidu, it's a name I even recognize. I have no idea why. And then 13th of December, I presume there's no, okay. So right. Good. Okay. BAA events. The Christmas meeting is going to be streamed live on their YouTube channel and presumably available also. Yeah. As far as I know, they're always just in. Oh, these ones? I think they're all just in person. These 2 are required talks. These 2 are actually done by the physics department, so it's possible that these ones have coffee and donuts. These 2 are in Sterling A. These are up on the top floor, 532, and some classrooms up top. On the level, oh yeah. So 501. Okay, 501. Special interest groups, I can't remember now which 3 they're doing, but another talk on, they have a whole bunch of different branches, all doing different types of astronomy. Nothing at LNA, nothing at NFAP. Doing this again. Oh well, we're getting darker. Earlier, staying dark. Yeah. It's been poor, hasn't it? It's been really here's your month for the moon on the 20th. New moon. So last quarter moon is tonight. Starting on about the 15th, well, you'll be able to see the zodiacal light in the eastern sky before sunrise. You're up. Not many people are. 17th of November, the Leonid meteor shower peaks. This is not a great shower. Its main claim to fame is because of its occasional storms, which we don't expect this year. Well, the last one didn't happen when it was supposed to either. So yeah. So who knows? Yeah, they're getting much better at predicting streams. So we should have better notice if there's going to be one. But anyway, it's close to new moon, so it's be a good time to see it. Uranus is in opposition on the 21st. The 24th, as Saturn and the Earth go around the sun, the rings tilt up and down, and right now, because of our motion, Saturn's motion, it's kind of doing a little dip and then starting to move again. So this is the point when it gets to the minimum tilt for this period of time at only 0.37 degrees. So you'll see, like in Kevin's pictures, it's just really nice thin line. This is 24th and 25th. One of these classic situations where Mercury is a little on one side one morning and it's a little beyond the next morning. At magnitude 2, it's going to be pretty low to the horizon. It's very close to Venus. Venus is very bright, so you should be able to see it. What I found really interesting is that on the 24th, Stellarium says it's at magnitude 1.8. And on the 25th, it says it's at 2.4. Like, wow, that's a big change. So
I think would be interesting to get up and see. Does it really dim that quickly? No, because I mean, all they give the astronomical magnitude. So, and the difference in elevation between the 2 days is minimal. 28th first quarter moon. Did I miss the new moon? Yes, I did. Okay. Lunar straight wall, Rupees recta, is visible on the 28th. Early December, up till our next meeting, the moon transits the Pleiades, starting about 8:30. You'll see some occultations of some of the brighter stars. Unfortunately, you'll see that the full moon is the next day, so the disappearances are technically on the dark limb, but it's a very thin dark limb. So you would certainly need a telescope, but in a telescope, they should be good. 6th of December, Mercury is at its greatest elongation west. So it's low in the southeast at nautical dawn, but it's quite bright and high enough that it'll be easy to see, and it's the only bright thing in the area. 7th of December, Moon, Jupiter, Castor, and Pollux are all in this sort of a neat parallelogram, rising in the evening. And the 10th, unfortunately, we're a little too far south because the moon occults Regulus for most of Canada, but not this far south. So it'll squeak by like a few arc minutes. I don't know. Grays would be kind of neat. It'll be marked, I'm sure, in the observer's handbook for a first magnitude star. But yeah. Yes. Yeah, Mercury never gets that. Yeah. No, Mercury never gets up to -2 or anything. Comets, man, have we got comets. So Comet Lemon is still in the southwest after sunset, but it is getting lower, perhaps magnitude 6. Comet Swan is in Pisces. I think it's in the circlet of Pisces during part of the month. Also dimming, but still up through all of the evening. Comet T1 Atlas, I think Mark looked at it back a few weeks ago. I haven't looked for it yet, but it's high in the northeast at dusk. And then starting a little later in the month, once the moon starts to get out of the way, we get K1 Atlas around magnitude 10. Is actually getting quite high. It's up above Leo in the east at nautical dawn. And 3I Atlas is supposedly going to be getting up to about magnitude 10 in the later part of the month. So something you want to see, because you're not very often going to get a chance to see an object from another solar system. Is that one going to get brighter in December? I think this is about a peak. Yeah. So P Corbour still low, or now low in the west after sunset behind my trees. I tried the other day carrying my 8-inch Dob 3/4 of a kilometer down to the boat launch, where it had clouded over by the time I got there. So I didn't see it. So I haven't seen it in about a week and a half or 2 weeks. Yes, I do. And it is still faint last time I looked. Major planets, Mars is very low in the west. You forget seeing that. Saturn and Neptune are together, transiting at some point. Lost the text. Uranus rises just after sunset. Jupiter rises in the early evening and is basically up all night. Starting crosses the meridian at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So that's when it's at its highest, and it's nice and high. Venus quite low in the east before sunrise, And Mercury, of course, does a lot of movement, so it's coming up and then doing its GEW and then goes back down. Small bodies, 20th of November, 68 Letho is at opposition, and on the 8th of December, 16 Psyche is in opposition. We have a lot of asteroid opposition. So here's one that goes through, Cardinal and Wartburg. And my text down here is mostly lost. 11th magnitude up to 1.8 seconds. So it's yeah. Another one. No, goes through Cardinal and Morrisburg. 25th of November, 12th magnitude star, so that'll be a little tougher, but 3.6 second duration. Oh, here's one that goes through Cardinal. Morrisburg. On 3rd of December, I think. 12th magnitude star, 1.6 seconds. Oh! That's crazy. This one goes through Athens. It goes through Eldon. And I think it actually misses Rogers Place. But it does get more. Yeah. So. Yeah. Patterson just outside. Sydenham. Malcolm, I think, might be right on the edge. Oh, Morrisburg, Cardinal. And this is one for almost everybody. I think Cardinal and Morrisburg are outside, but Patterson, but all the things inside. Do you know anybody in Mervale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live on Mervale Road.
Well, maybe that's it. Yarton. Some actually missed the boat of Kingston. So this one is on 10th of December. 12.2 magnitude star. A lot of them are kind of faint stars. One really interesting one that actually just misses us is a Jupiter Trojan at like 21st magnitude that is going in front of the star. And if you know Trojans, they're asteroids that are 60 degrees ahead or 60 degrees behind Jupiter. And they're, yes, well, the one bunch are the Trojan soldiers and the other ones are the Greek soldiers when they started naming them. And so I assume the knowledge of their positions and stuff is probably less accurate. So it might be more interesting to look for those kind of events. Cardinal and Morrisburg. Isn't this? It's just, and it's like this every month. I mean, just I don't know. Yeah, yeah. So yes, no. They are for all the planets. Jupiter is big enough and it's close enough to the asteroid belt that, yeah, you get quite a, there's, I think, like a couple of million objects at those 2 points. There's apparently a cloud of dust at the Earth Trojan location. Lagrange points is what they call it. The those two are stable locations. So once something gets in there, it will stay there. The other three that are in line with the Earth and the Sun, or Jupiter and the Sun, are all unstable. So things don't stay there. But it is a relatively flat spot in the sort of the potential surface. So, for instance, putting something like the Gaia spacecraft out there, or James Webb Space Telescope, it requires very little energy to keep it in place. Whereas if you were off on a steeper surface, sort of in the potential, it would require more effort and more fuel to do your station. So, any other questions? Yeah.
Where and when will that happen?
That one is that will be in Sterling A Auditorium on the 21st of November, starting at, I think, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock?
Yeah. If you go to the Queen's Physics Department events, it's listed there. All right. Thank you.
No. Yep. Yep. Okay. Mike, would you like to come up and?
Okay, Rick mentioned on the 10th, there's a grazing of the moon on regular time, December 10th, and our next meeting is on that date as well. And our traditional December meeting on the 10th is normally a dinner meeting. So I made a reservation at the Mandarin for a room, and I don't know if everybody been to the Mandarin before? So you can go there and graze for several hours. So they got something for everybody. If you don't like Chinese, it doesn't matter. They got steaks and ribs and you name it, they got it, fish. So you can eat just anything you want. Lots and lots of desserts. But so our meeting's on December 10th, and so I made a reservation for 5 p.m. for a room. They said they preferred 30 people or up to 40 for the room. Otherwise, they have to put other people in it. I asked the price, and it's $35.99, so $36. And then they have a 10% tip if it's a food they bill. So in the end, you'll be about $40 per person to the buffet, but it's a huge buffet. And that's about it. I'll be putting out an email tomorrow, and if anybody wants to planning on going, just send an email to me, and you'll reply back, and I'll put you on the list, and we'll keep track of how many people we got. Go ahead.
I wonder if you cannot have an immediate afterwards.
No.
We are not.
Okay.
It's dinner only.
Dinner only. Last year we had a big blizzard day, so it was really bad weather. So a lot of people didn't come. The other thing is we bring for door prizes. We bring door prizes, so everybody comes and bring door prizes, and then we do a draw as well.
What time is that?
I made it for 5. We could do it later if it doesn't work for everybody. Also in there. Any questions? Okay. And again, I'll put an email out and request here to give us I told them we'd have 30. They said we prefer 40, but if we get less, then let them know because we may have to put people in the you have to convert them to a song.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here just to give everyone a reminder of to look through your archives of your Astro images that you took in 2025 and send them to me. This is for our 2025 Astro Image Gallery report, which we've done the past few years. I know all of you have some excellent Astro images in there, and I'd like you to send me one of them. I've received 4 so far, and they've been fabulous images. So I sent out a reminder email mid-October. I'll send out another one next week just to remind you. And it has some of the particulars on you know, for your images. But yeah, please take a look at what you have and send it to me. Thank you. Oh, any questions? Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And with the image, please include in the email some words about why this is your favorite image, or what you went through, some of the particulars on how you did the image. That just adds some interest to the image when we put it into the report. Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, Bruce. Let me find your PowerPoint here. That's okay. So what do you want to start with? PDF?
Yeah, the PDF. PDF.
Okay. Let's see where that comes up. In a second. So let me put this on. Come on.
So thanks. So good evening, everybody. I just want to thank, first of all, I want to thank all the team that came out for our science rendezvous last May, and it was a fantastic experience. We all had fun, and that's the photo. Let's go down. What do I do to get down the screen?
You want to scroll it down a little
I
bit?
just want to scroll. Okay. So yeah, so just my main message is to invite people to participate again for the next event, which will be on May the 6th. May the date on the top that goes down. Okay.
Where do you want me to go then?
At the very top.
Oh, I thought you wanted to scroll down.
There we go. It's May the 9th, 2026. Yeah. So that's a Saturday. Now we go down to the 20th. So this is just a summary of some of the things I've put this online to share it on the chat line, which the people can have it. To just get an idea of what we did last year. I think we had good sunshine for most of the day, and the telescope was viewing the sun. We looked at talked about a lot of things, and listed here. And I guess one of the things that was really a highlight for younger people was food set, and telling questions, looking at the having a chance to have some material for astronomy related puzzles and mazes and so on. The key stuff was put on display, and I think that there were some issues about visibility, but I think in general, and exciting for people to see this fantastic instrument in operation. So please contribute any other ideas that you might or see. Down a bit more. Yeah, so we have a brief application submitted, once we get approval for our next session, participants are will need to register. Anyone who gives last year's phone back, or the new people who do rough have a mix of people to participate in here. So that's and then here's just to tell you that the whole Queen Science Rendezvous had a very high rating. It's had a very high rating every year, and in 2024, the whole program got the National Community Center. Yeah. Now there's only one other thing, and there's a second event. Is the science fair, the science fair is county science fair, and that will be the exact date for that has not been announced. We tried to find out, and but it will be sometime probably about the week of March. And so anyone's interested in participating in the science fair, please do let me know. So thank you very much.
Want to see Orion?
Oh, yeah. I took a picture of Orion. This was from our front yard. It's difficult to get a clear night, right? But this was early in the morning. I'm really proud of this rainbow. This was over our house. We lived when we out here. And that was a rainbow was very early morning. It was double rainbow, by the way. Yeah.
And is that your comment of
This is my attempt at a comment this is taken from the one point. And you know, we were excited to get it, but it's you know, we're learning how to do better image on it, and if we're going to try and like to see it a much more pronounced scale. So just wanted to share with you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We had 605,000 people at the science fair last year, and I swear every one of them went to our conference.
Roger?
Yeah.
Use the microphone. You're up. You'll have to talk about these. You've got the microphone.
No, I think probably
No problem. Thank you. Yep. I'll drive, you talk.
Okay, fair enough.
We're on the first image.
Yes, okay. So, for those of you who were at the, joined us for the social, last week, I sheepishly said that I've been having difficulties with a camera, telescope, filters combination, trying to take pictures of Comet Line. And I said, you know, look at this picture, like the stars are all fuzzy, it's not good. I'm pretty annoyed about this, like brutally disappointed. But a couple of people said, well, hang on a second here, let's have a look at this. So, next picture.
Where's the, what is this program?
Good program.
I know. I'm gonna do this different.
Yeah, that was a screenshot.
Oh, bear with me. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
All right.
Hang on a second. Hang on. I got the arrow.
There we go, next. All right, then I have to go back.
Yeah.
There we go, and again, and one more. So,
This one?
no.
I'm just,
So,
it's just doing its own thing here,
right,
right?
so column lemon 4, I put like column lemon 2, if at all possible. 3, or more. Okay, 2. So one of the things that they pointed out, however, was that this nice little program here actually has autocorrect the code. So I went ahead and did that. And next slide, please.
When that popped up, I thought I did that. And I went, oh, this
Well,
can't.
what the hell is going on here? No, okay, and when he did that, I thought, okay, it's better, right? But anyway, so Malcolm said, well, send me the pictures. Let me have a play with just this picture, and we'll see what's going on. And so he did. Next picture, please. And hang on, and said, okay, so like here's yours, right? The stars are slightly odd shaped, but don't worry about this. It can all be fixed in software because this is what it looks like when it's all fixed in software. Maybe then there's a possibility of it being reasonable. Next picture. 11.5. So this is what he said when he went out and had a look. He went, oh, this is miles better than the one that I had. There's lots of satellite. Okay, so it's not perfect. But this is a lot better. There's detail that can see in there. And basically, he told me to, next to it, you've got a fine camera with properly calibrated, stacked, and processed. I'll get some wonderful images eventually. It's going to take a bit of effort because it's a learning curve, and I'm at the bottom of it, and I've got a long steep climb. But as a check on the data, it's all good. You have nowhere to go but up. And so he said, so also think have a good play with the program from zero. And he went also and mentioned SETI Astro Suite. So I installed SETI Astro Suite about 3 days ago, and I haven't had any trying to get this to work. Right, so it's one of the reasons why I missed the Aurora yesterday. I was going ahead and having a really good play with it. Next picture. So after this, like, what the hell have I done wrong? So I realized after 3 days of no sleep and all the rest of it, I've still got a mountain to climb. But either way, I'm grateful for Malcolm going and saying, yeah, okay, the data's good, but processing, I've got a lot to learn. But anyway, thanks for that. And to Rick Wagner, who's also throwing off suggestions so as we were going to.
And Rick's going to give a serial demo. In the Astronomy 101 series.
I may actually have to wait. I'm not going to do anything to do this stuff. Not yet, anyway. It could be an awful long time. But anyway, I just want to say thank you very much to Malcolm for allowing me to climb down off the ledge and have a good play. And lose some sleep, and I've still got an awful long way to go. But thank you very much. Who's next?
I think Kevin is the one remaining. Okay, how do you want to approach this?
I think I'll have to drive it because I don't want everybody to sit through a 10-minute video. I will stop it. So let's look at the video first because it's the most fun. And can we kill the lights? It's thinking. Okay, this is our all sky camera from last night. And let's make it full screen. And it's a lot of cloud. And you'd be amazed at the difference. Whoa, at the amount of difference of cloud between Kim and I in Yarker, Malcolm out near Sydenham, Stefan out near Athens. Who else did we see in the chat today? Mike did
Yeah,
something?
Mike, that,
Well, you're way down the river, so. So this is, north is up. This is our little red LED rope light we have around our back observatory. South Kingston is over here. Cell tower. But these are 60-second exposures normally, so you don't get the fine detail of motion. But you see how freaking big and bright it is. And then, for some reason, 3 of my computers rebooted last night. And I suspect it's Microsoft updates. Right around 9:30, 10 o'clock p.m. And so the exposure reset from 60 seconds back down to 1 second, and it auto exposes back up again. So let's get this going again. So that was the first batch. Cloudy again, we're about 10 p.m., 10:30, 11 p.m. The time is up on the upper left in UTC time. And we're just approaching 4, so this would be a 2,300 hours coming up. And even though there's cloud, look at the fire in the sky. That was just blowing us away. And then, of course, what happens after that? No. So the rest of the night was useless. I'm just going to run this back to the beginning again and check the time up there, exposures. This is AFI 676 MC camera. It's a square format sensor, which is just awesome. But Stephen did some all sky camera stuff as well last night, and they didn't seem to have any clouds. So again, the aurora shining through the cloud, making it look like the sky was on fire. It's just, we have individual skills at all of this as well, and it's just mind blowing right there. All the way to the south, and you've seen reports from Arizona, Florida, all over the place.
that's 13 degrees.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see if we can use this funky picture. So these are just some of the images over the last month or so. Where is the cursor? There's the cursor. So this is Jupiter, Great Red Spot on October 26th. That's 5% of 27,000 frames. That's 5% of 27,000. Let's think about that for some time. It's just incredible how much data you can throw away. This is an animated image of the run that night, and again, you can see how much the scene changes from good to okay to just crap. And that's one of the reasons why we throw away from it. Why does that keep coming up? Let's try it before. I went and bought my very first filter. This is a methane CH4 filter from ZWO. It's a 20 nanometer bandwidth bandpass filter. And the images that you saw of Jupiter before were approximately 3 millisecond exposures. If you look up here in the title, we're saying 300 millisecond exposures. So that sucker is 100 times more light needed than just my regular luminance. I don't like playing with the game because it changes. I try to have a baseline comparison for everything, and I try to keep it. Saturn on October 30th, Rick, you were saying it's going to get narrower than this, the ring, and then start getting better again. So we'll see how it goes. Comet Lemon. This is a DSLR 10-27i zoom telephoto lens at 80 millimeters, 8-second exposure. You can see our tourist down here on the bottom. Okay, you can see Corona Borealis up here, and this is the brightest star here. Do you see a comet in there anywhere? I've looked and I've looked, and I can't see a thing. This was taken at 1931 local. And I'm just going to sorry?
On what date?
October 23rd. And if we go one frame in advance, same 80 millimeter focal length, same 8-second exposure, and there's the freaking comet. And this is only a few minutes later. And I just don't understand except for possible cloud that rolled in front of it. So I went back and forth, and it was just mind-numbingly irritating that I couldn't identify that. Telephoto zoom ins on the camera, you change the focal length, and of course the focus changes. What a pain in the butt. I have not learned how to get around this problem. So you go away from your target, go to a bright star like Arcturus, live view, zoom in, focus it again, go back to where you think the comet is because you've now got a narrow field of view, hunt around for it until you find it, and you finally find the comet. And I'm not too upset with that at all. It's one of the best pictures I've had. Somewhat more in focus than the last one.
The focal length is that?
The last one is up here. You gotta find a better way to control it. This was 220 millimeters. Let me try this. Keyboard? Yeah, keyboard work. Again, an animated run of a bunch of runs of Saturn, and again, steam goes all over the place. Good, bad, horrible. On the night of November the 4th, I'm in the observatory in front of a computer screen, not looking at the wonderful night sky. Kim is outside going, Gavin, get out here, there's something in the sky. And you've all heard about Ariane rocket launched from French Guiana, dumping fuel and spinning at the same time. Whoops. That's the booster with the payload on board. And that gives you an idea of the size from our back there. These are handheld shots with my smartphone, the Google Pixel 6. I'm just blown away what smartphones can do these days. And this is our all-sky camera compilation of about 15 images, all blurred together because, of course, it's a long exposure. This is the still shot from last night, from the video that you saw earlier of the Aurora. This was at 0112 UT, so what's that, 8:12 p.m. This was at 8:15. 8:17. And the brightness, we're getting overexposed here on 60-second exposure. 8:20, 8:21, 8:29. Some of this overexposing, I guess, is blowing out the clouds, but they travel down, and we're getting really, really bright overexposures of something, and I've never seen that before. And it's got to be some part of the aurora in that location that brightened up and hit a cloud, and yeah, there especially. And that is due south down here, Venus. So 45 degrees down. And that's the movie again. So that's it for me.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, just to finish up, Astrophotography 101 is back. This time we will be talking about Nina tomorrow night, November 12th, 7 p.m. via Zoom. Sorry, yeah. Tomorrow night in caps, just read that part. Meeting will be recorded. Zoom link has been sent out in the email chat list. The RASC-Kingston monthly newsletter Regulus is out from Wagner Hill, and it can be found on the RASC-Kingston Centre website. Our website is Kingston at RASC, kingston.rasc.ca. We have a Facebook group. We have a YouTube channel. This meeting has been recorded and may be on YouTube sometime in the near future. If you're not a member of the RASC-Kingston Centre, you're invited to join us at the RASC website. On Wednesdays, we have our Zoom socials, which is an opportunity for members to chat and discuss what's going on. To join an email with the Zoom invitation is posted to the Centre's email list. Next month, as Mike mentioned, our meeting on December 10th is dinner instead of a meeting. Our next Centre meeting will be on January the 14th via Zoom only. In-person meetings will resume in March. I would just like to conclude and thank the new members for joining the board and taking on some responsibility there. I would like to thank everyone that showed something tonight, and I think that we have reached the end of the meeting. So thank everyone. And Susan has calendars.
I have two calendars that have not been spoken for, so if anyone would like to get a calendar tonight, it's $25. I also sent an email tonight during the meeting to National, to the membership person, to see what kind of membership.
The social. Over the next 4 months, I'm not going to be reliably able to post it, so I'm hoping that I can count on people to take over for me. And so,
No problem.
right. So,
Someone or a group of us will
sure.
figure it out.
I'll look after posting the notices, but usually I'm
Yeah.
transit.
Okay, thanks for the heads up. Okay, thanks everybody.